President Trump pushing for peace at the United Nations meeting while also fully throwing his support behind Ukraine to fight off Russia's invasion.
What an explosive day yesterday. Senior White House correspondent Peter Doocy joins us with more. Peter, go ahead.
Good morning. President Trump now says maybe Russia is a paper tiger. And we have come a very, very long way from earlier in the term and his belief that it's both Putin and Zelenskyy who are being stubborn here.
Was a little bit surprised for me. You're right. I was very positive signals from the side that Trump and America will be with us to the end of the war. Yes, as we will see. Yeah. Right? We will see. But God bless, it will be so.
Here's the new President Trump position on Ukraine. After getting to know and fully understand the Ukraine-Russia military and economic situation, and after seeing the economic trouble it is causing Russia, I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. In the map on screen right now, you can see Russia has been nibbling at the edges of NATO territory in Europe, probing airspace with fighter jets, something President Trump says should result in returned fire.
Mr. President, do you think that NATO countries should shoot down Russian aircraft if they enter their airspace?
Yes, I do.
What progress do you think has been made on ending Russia's war against Ukraine since the last time you saw President Zelenskyy?
Well, the biggest progress is that the Russian economy is terrible right now. It's, as you know, it's crashing. And that, frankly, Ukraine is doing a very good job of stopping this very large army.
A few weeks ago, when President Trump met with Putin in Alaska and then Zelenskyy here at the White House, he was talking about some kind of a land swap, ending the war by giving Russia some Ukrainian land and giving Ukraine some Russian land. That is not the case anymore. He thinks that Ukraine can take it all back, and he continues trying to be the middleman between Russia and Ukraine to end this war. He is not looking to big international coalitions like the United Nations, where Russia is still a member of the Permanent Security Council. Later on today, Secretary of State Rubio is going to meet with his counterpart, the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Back to you.
Peter, what made the president change his mind, essentially, and say, with the help of NATO and with the help of Europe, Ukraine, Kyiv can get back all of its borders? Was it he's just fed up with Putin?
Zelenskyy says that the specific thing that the president is the most mad about is that Putin has lied to him. He tells him one thing on the phone or in person, and then President Trump has ways to figure out what's going on the battlefield. He's got the entire Defense Department with eyes on what's going on. He knows if Putin is telling the truth or not. Putin has not been telling the truth to President Trump, and he's had it.
Thanks so much, Peter. And great show on Sunday. I mean, what a great interview. Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you. We're trying to do something a little bit different, kind of like a Next Gen Sunday show. And so I'll be there every other week. Jackie Heinrich will be there when I'm not. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, maybe shorts and short sleeves next week, just to be youthful.
Some hoodies.
Yeah, hoodies.
I'll
Hoodies
do
even
it.
better. Belichick hoodies.
Yeah. You know what? Why not? Again, we're trying something new. I could just cut the sleeves off like a sport coat.
It's up to you. I don't want to tell you. It does cost a lot of money. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Peter.
All right, so I was amazed by that Truth Social push. You know that I firmly believe that Ukraine has fought extraordinarily well, that the second biggest army in Europe. And when the president said, you know, it's not really our fight, well, do you want the second biggest army in Europe enveloped by the third biggest army in Europe? And then they'll be looking at all our allies. When the president came out yesterday and said, if you see those planes in your area, should you shoot them down? The answer is yes. Well, Estonia experienced it, Romania experienced it. Poland experienced it, Belgium experienced it, and when the Polish official heard that, Trump's declaration, he says, Roger that. They're ready to do it because they got a bunch of drones hit. And I also think when he says Russia has been fighting aimlessly for 3.5 years, that what should have been a real military power, a quick win, this does not distinguish Russia. In fact, they very much are making them look like a paper tiger. When the people of Moscow find out how bad it is, they're not going to be happy. Ukraine has great spirit. and they also have drone technology, and they're beginning to take a toll on the refineries and oil and gas in Russia. There are lines. Inflation is in double digits right now, and just to get gas in what is a gas station of a country is hard for the Russian people. That's what Ukraine is doing.
So the president tried to give Putin an opportunity. He wanted to be the peacemaker, but Putin thought he can embarrass the president, kept stringing him along. And so I think the president, I kept telling people, just be cool. Just be cool. Allow the president to try to get this peace. Putin will eventually overplay his hand, which he has, and the president is not leaving any ambiguity. As you notice, when they asked him, should they shoot him out of the sky, he didn't even flinch. He was like, yep. His Truth Social post says, okay, Ukraine can win the war. But he's also saying the Europeans have to do more. And when he says do more, you can't fund the war. So if you think Putin is a threat, stop buying the oil. Stop buying the oil.
And they have. They say they've done that, and we're going to backfill them with the natural gas and oil.
Smart.
Caroline Leavitt, the White House press secretary, talked about Trump's frustration with Vladimir Putin.
President Trump has been very clear that he's been increasingly frustrated with both sides of this war for a very long time. But most recently, he's been incredibly frustrated with President Putin and Russia, who continue to talk nice, but then we wake up every morning and in the West Wing, we're receiving reports about how Russia bombed Ukraine and they continue to kill innocent civilians. And the president is making it very clear that Russia is in a very weak position, and he's absolutely right. The president has said that we are going to continue selling weapons to NATO, and NATO and Ukraine can choose how to use those weapons. But the way that this weapon arrangement has now taken place under President Trump is putting America first, because we are selling these weapons to Ukraine and to NATO, and NATO is backfilling those weapons to Ukraine. So the American taxpayer is benefiting from this. That's a change and a shift in position from the Biden administration.
He's going to get Democrat and Republican support for that. Keep in mind, too, there's some technology that Ukraine has that can help us.
The drones.
The drones. And Pete Hicks, the Secretary of War, came out and said, we got a huge problem. We got to get more drones. And Ukraine said, excuse me, I could do that for you, because a lot of their most effective people are in basements now making this stuff. So it's going to be interesting, because Republicans and Democrats backing the president on an international initiative, he's going to find a lot of people happy about this.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.